It's time to talk about it. It's time to share and give my insights on this, not to spill the tea, not to bash, but to simply complete this chapter of my life, this chapter that was 14 years. 14 years. And I'm going to be talking about Beachbody. And for those of you that don't know my story with Beachbody, how I got into it, really how my career in network marketing was, my mindset on it, my thoughts. This might be a couple part series. We will see where it goes. But in October of this year, it was my 14-year career as a Beachbody coach. And the facts of it are Beachbody, the company, is not going anywhere, but what they're doing is eliminating the network marketing model. So coaches, having teams of coaches and all of that, and moving to an affiliate model. And there are, yes, in my opinion, some things that have been done really dirty and really shady, and I'm going to talk about it. But I'm also going to talk about the good, because there are so many good things that happened to me in this stage of my life. So if you love the Beachbody workouts, they're not going anywhere. If you're still completely addicted to Energize like I am, they're not going anywhere. And if you like certain things and products that they have, they're not going anywhere. I highly recommend that you at least try to support your person who is still choosing to be an affiliate with them at this time. I'm choosing to not sign up as an affiliate, but give myself the permission to change my mind. Actually, even my Beachbody On Demand workout subscription canceled. And for the first time in 14 years, I am not, well, when I started, and I'll talk about when I started, but we didn't have the online platform library like there is now, but I'm not a member of Beachbody at this time, which is so crazy and so wild. And they do have really great workouts and programs and various things like that. I just saw it as a way to sever myself for a little bit from the situation. So those are the facts. Those are the facts. And this affiliate change, I'll start with where I think it just went shady. So we got an email on September 30th, and actually I didn't even see the email. I saw a post from one of our former corporate representatives that said, "Beachbody friends, I am so sorry." And I knew exactly what it meant. My husband and I were upstairs in our bedroom and scrolling on our phones. And I was like, look at this. And he's like, what does it mean? What's the announcement? I'm like, it doesn't even have to say anything more than this. I already know. And it was painted to be this really great thing for us. And for a while, I was like, oh, okay, getting rid of the network marketing side of things, the residual income side of things, like, that makes sense to me. Especially when the company went public in 2021. And since it went public, if you pay attention to the numbers, if you were paying attention to the numbers and not to the noise and the nonsense and the rah-rah, you saw that the company was bleeding money. An outsider could see very clearly, but those people who were really tied into the emotion, they didn't see it. They were just going by what they were told by the leaders of the company, that we're turning this around. This is going to be the next big thing. We're on the up and up. This is happening to everybody in this economy, and such and such and such. And I saw the numbers and I was like, I just can't unsee this. I know we're being told this, but this is what I see. And so the crazy decision of, or not so crazy decision of it being switched to network marketing to affiliate wasn't a surprise to me, but we were told that our compensation plan changes that happened in January of 2024 were happening so that this wasn't ever going to be the case. That was a lie. That was a dead lie. And I felt it. I really did. I also think what's really dirty is with the new affiliate model, in the 14 years of business, I have built a big customer base. And whether somebody's been a coach or a partner, I'm going to say coach and I'm going to say Beachbody, just because like I, in my head, was detaching around that time they were rebranding to Body and becoming a partner. And I was just like, no, I always saw my career as a Beachbody coach, like a coach and a mentor. And I'm going to talk about like in the beginning, it wasn't the way that it was, especially in the last 4 or 5 years. So the affiliate model, in my opinion, is a complete joke because number one, these programs and products are different. And that's what made Beachbody so different, was the support element and the support factor. Now with this new affiliate model, you don't see who orders from you. And if somebody orders something and they put it on monthly subscription, you don't get the affiliate commission for all of the monthly subscriptions. You just get it for the first one. So that would mean me tracking down my customer, having them order Energize through me, telling them to do a one-time purchase, and then either month over month, I seek them out or they seek out my link in order to order. Now, I'm an affiliate for Protea. I'm an affiliate for Ovamoon. I'm an affiliate for Dime Beauty. That is not the case for those affiliate opportunities. Yes, in those opportunities, I don't see who orders what and what they order. So if you guys have ever bought something, well, with Dime, I don't make commission. I just get reward points that I can use on my own purchases. But with the ones where I do get a certain small percentage kickback, I don't see who orders what and what they order. And so that's why I love when you guys come to my Instagram and say, I got Baseline or I got Ovamoon and I've been taking it and I love it. And to me, it was because I don't need to be like your accountability mentorship for taking your vitamin, right? Like you don't need somebody to be your support system in that. But with programs and products and lifestyle changes, that is such a beautiful thing to have a coach, a support system in a community form. And that just is what made it so unique and different. And so let's go back to 14 years ago. I was a college student studying dietetics, and I knew that I wanted my profession to be helping people in fitness and nutrition. And I've always loved working out. Working out has always been a stress reliever for me, as an escape for me. And so I have always been somebody that loved working out. I was studying dietetics, so I was starting to learn more about the nutrition piece. And I saw my mentor, who I signed up under, on Facebook, sharing how she was at home with, at the time she had one little toddler, and she was making an income helping people with at-home workouts and nutrition. And I talked to her. I remember I turned 21 and I talked to her for about 2 months and I signed up. And in the beginning with Beachbody, you guys, it wasn't about the hey girl message. It wasn't about spamming people. Genuinely, when I started as a Beachbody coach, we were trained to help 3 to 5 people per month get results. That was it. 3 to 5 people per month to get results. And to me, that is still a really realistic way to build a business, and to really truly help people. And it was something very doable. A lot of people do network marketing part-time, especially in the beginning. So 3 to 5 people, helping 3 to 5 people per month. And the focus was not 3 to 5 people and move on and sell to more people. It was 3 to 5 people get results. And like I said, at the time when I started, we were doing DVDs. So oftentimes and these DVD packages were around $100, sometimes $120. They really kind of ranged between $60 and $120, depending on the program and depending on the sale that was going on at the time. And so it was really about asking them questions to see what kind of workout style they would like. So they would actually do their workout program. They would enjoy it. They would check in. They would follow their calendar and get results. I remember this so much that I loved asking people questions if they'd like something more of dance style, or if they'd like something more athletic or slow pace or really, really high energy. I remember crafting this list of questions that really helped me pinpoint what workout I think they would enjoy. Because me, somebody who always enjoyed movement, I was really wanting to make sure I was helping people get signed up with some type of workout that they're going to buy and enjoy. And it was helping 3 to 5 people. And then if you had somebody who either really started organically sharing how much they are loving the programs, you presented the coaching opportunity to them. Or if somebody who was also like me, super into health and fitness, super into helping people, you brought up the business opportunity to them. Or people who were already familiar with the products and whatnot and so forth, right? So in the beginning, it was so good and it was so fun and it was so genuine. Truly, it was so genuine that our main mission was to help people live a healthy and fulfilling life. And then it got crazy. After Beachbody really hit $1 billion, that's when I really think like the more mentality came to be. And there were also compensation plan changes. So there was a compensation plan change in like 2016. And I remember this because it was, or 2015, 2016, it was around when I had my first son. And I remember my checks were just dropping and dropping and dropping. And in my head, I was like, well, that's because I'm a mom now and I'm not giving my all and And I had one of my peers, one of my friends that was like, no, it's not anything you did. They just did a compensation plan change and it really impacted the people at your level. And I was like, oh, okay, well, now I'm just going to work harder to get it back to where it was. And this is when I really think the hey girl, the message, it went from, the goal of helping 3 to 5 people per month to talking to 30 and sending out 30 messages a day. I'm not even kidding you. It got insane. And I even remember some people on my team sharing that they were doing different trainings and mentors or have in mentorships with other people saying like, oh, well, they're saying to message 10 to 30 people a day. And you just do it. You send the message and you just do it. And I was just like, oh, this is not the same. And it was more and more and more. Another thing that I really think kicked Beachbody's butt, and I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this is just my opinion, but around this time of 2016, 2017, and beyond, it was what I like to call the wave of the discount coaches. So people started signing up anybody and everybody as a coach. And you were just, even people who genuinely just wanted to start working on their health and fitness journey, we were then being told by top people to bring them in as a discount coach. Like, why not? Why wouldn't they want the 25% off? And in my head, I was just like, this is not going to be good. And that's actually something that is true in the regulation of network marketing. From my understanding, it is that you can't have this big pool of distributors and have a teeny tiny pool of customers. And in this time when it was sign everybody up as a discount coach so people can rank advance and this and that and the other thing. And some of it was in the pure heart of like, you just never know, because we had heard success stories of people saying, I just signed up for the discount and now this totally changed my life. But I would say that was very, very few in comparison to the amount of discount coaches that were just being signed up over and over and over again. And I remember in my heart wanting to be like, no, I'm not signing up everybody as a discount coach. I'm going to present the opportunity to people who see this as a business opportunity, people who see that this wants to have this be an income for themselves. but I'm not just going to sign up anybody and everybody to be a discount coach, because it's not for anybody and everybody. And I really think that I really think corporate should have stepped in and said, guys, we can't be signing up anybody and everybody as a discount coach, because we need to have this regulated, not balance as in they're equal, but we need to have a customer base and a distributor base. And it cannot just all be pooled into the distributor base. But that was the unpopular opinion. So you'll notice a theme kind of with Beachbody is if you are not in popular opinion, you get group, like it was really a group think culture. And if you thought differently, you were outcast. If you tried to do things differently, you were kind of outcast. And then, after the company hit $1 billion business, there was a lot of really crazy decisions being made at the top and then blamed on coaches that we weren't doing enough. And one of those things was going public, acquiring the Mix bike, the digital platform, the expense of the digital platform. Like if you look at the numbers of when the company went public, and the crazy thing is you see the numbers of when they went public, and there was a big spike right in the beginning. And that's even because coaches were told and encouraged to invest money into the public trade of it. So not only was Beachbody paying these coaches for being the sales force, paying us coaches for being the sales force, but we were also being told, really buy a lot of stock into the company. And so the money that that was received, I didn't invest a ton in when we went public, but a lot of my peers did and just flooded it. And so you see this spike and then it just drops right back down again. You can see that the company is just hemorrhaging money. And while this was all going on, I sat and I was like, you know what? Do I think it could steer the ship and go a different direction? Yes. But also it felt like a lot of people were on the Titanic saying the Titanic doesn't sink. There's no way Carl's going to do this to us. There's no way that's going to happen to Beachbody. There's no way the Titanic can sink. But then some of us were like, we see the iceberg. We saw that we hit the iceberg. The ship is going down. I'm getting on a lifeboat. And so in 2022, I really came to terms with stripping my identity from being a top network marketer, a top Beachbody coach, and made the decision to not have all my eggs in the Beachbody basket. We actually made that decision around 2021 that in our 5-year plan, we were going to plan for Beachbody to not be an egg in our basket. In 2021, I had already been working towards Beachbody not being the basket, right? I've talked about this in pretty much all of my entrepreneurship episodes, but it was just crazy. It was just crazy to sometimes hold my tongue. And my friend Mindy Wender, who was on my podcast this summer, we did a really great interview. She also did a couple podcast episodes on her thoughts on all of this on her podcast, Obsessed or Not Interested. And she described it like, and I can't relate to this, but the metaphor landed of when she described it to her, it really felt like with hindsight that it was like you're in a relationship with somebody and you think, oh, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. And until you get out of the relationship, you're like, what the heck? Like, what was I thinking? How did I not see these signs? Like, it was so clear that this was so bad. And in those situations, there's always a friend who's like sitting in the background of like, girl, he's not good for you. I've known he's not good for you. And that's how I've had to navigate things with my Beachbody friends and peers of like, I totally saw how a lot of them were loyal to a fault. And that's because many of them, good people. But I couldn't sit and and I shared this story on the podcast with my friend Lauren Ricks about in the fall of 2023, we were having a leadership call and talking about the changes that were to come in January 2024. And I had expressed that it was so hard to rally it all together or like rally the troops with these change because of all the red flags. And the leader told me, red flags? What do you mean by red flags? I don't know what you mean by red flags. And I'm like sitting here thinking, everybody saw the red flags, but nobody wanted to talk about it. And we saw this even in 2018 to 2021, where we had a top Beachbody leadership group. And if we ever brought up anything, and they weren't even controversial things, but any sort of questioning things or seeing errors in our coach online office, we were gaslit, absolutely gaslit. And it just got so hard to trust what we were being told, in my opinion. And man, like this is all just wild to think about because this is over a 14-year time period. So to me, I really see it broken up in like my first 8 years in the business versus my last 6 in the business. My last 6 in the business, I was really kind of like already 1 foot out the door because in 2021, the company went public. But really what shifted for me, and this is kind of crazy, is what shifted for me was motherhood. After having my second, and I know a couple of my friends felt this way as well, that after having their kids, having kids, we were so tired and struggling, and in ways it was like, I don't have the time, because with network marketing, anybody who's kind of telling you it gives you time freedom, I call BS, because so many are time restricted to building it. And while, yes, you do a lot in the beginning, and if it's built to how it's supposed to be built, then you work less over time, but it takes a grind and it takes a dedication and it takes a lot. And for me, when my kids came into the picture, I remember I had Monday night team calls Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time for years and years and years and years and years. And after my second was born, I remember it was like 7:30 p.m. and I was going to need to drink caffeine to keep my eyes open. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I'm so tired. And I'd get questions from team members that could be easily answered on Google, but I felt like I always needed to be available to customers and teammates and all of these things. And I had teammates telling me that I wasn't doing enough or I was disappointing them. And it just was like, oh my gosh, like this is getting so much, especially when I had my first baby was very challenging. And then I had my second very shortly after. So I literally had 2 babies. I had 2 under 2. And here's the thing. This is the point that I was getting to. With network marketing, a lot of times it is marketed towards moms, because this is something you can do during the nap time hustle. This is something you can do during the cracks of the day and all of that. And I really was just like, motherhood opened my eyes in so many ways of, I didn't want my body to be my business anymore. I didn't want my kids to see me on my phone all the time. I didn't want my kids to be content. I didn't want to always be thinking about how I needed to message people or post about certain things or take pictures of my food. I just was like, this doesn't feel right for me anymore. And trust me, I was somebody who was like a wannabe YouTube vlogger back in the day before I had kids. Like, that's something I thought would be so cool. But then motherhood changed everything for me. And truly, I built my business to where it was before being a mom. I have no idea how the ladies did this while being a mom, building their business and building the foundation of their network marketing business while being a mom, because being a mom is hard. And building and starting network marketing from the ground up is equally hard and challenging. And there are times where I'm like, how, because I said my mentor, she had one toddler at the time. She went on to have her second. And I was like, yeah, this is the perfect job for moms. And then I became a mom and I'm like, how are you guys doing this? Like, this is not that easy. This is not that easy. When everybody was saying how easy it was, I was not having an easy time with it. And maybe that's just me, but I know a handful of my friends too were like, I don't even have the mental and emotional capacity as well as the time capacity to do all of this all of the time and having it be on my mind all of the time while my kids are on my mind all of the time. And so I did briefly, I have some notes here, but I think I kind of covered it all unless there's more questions that you guys have, where the changes are being made on January of 2025. So as of January 2025, I will no longer be affiliated at all with Beachbody. And as of right now, I don't plan on joining their affiliate program. I do have some amazing, great friends that are still going to continue being affiliates. So if you need somebody, please let me know. But I'm just grossed out with how all of this is ending because there's not the customer acquisition of the 14 years or however many years of work somebody has put into it. And also I'm ready to try other things. I'm ready to try other supplements, other workouts, other this and that. But, if I ever feel called back to the platform, I'm not, and not saying I'm not going to ever come back to the workouts because they're pretty good. Like, I love Joel. I love Megan. I love Amala. I love Andrea Rogers. I love Elise Jones. Like, I really think they do have really great people and super trainers. And, starting this business when I was in college and it being something I was known for. I mean, I was in publications locally, and anytime people would make small talk with me and be about what I was doing with my Beachbody business and how it worked and all of that. And it's over. The chapter's over. And actually, if I'm being honest, the day that we found out, September 30th, I looked at my husband and I said, it feels like a chain that was tied to my leg was just cut for me. I can now do whatever I want. And we always could, right? We really always could. But it was a part of my identity and I still held on to it. I'm still going to hold on to it because it was so great. I mean, many of my best friends now that I still am in touch with all the time are from my network marketing days and my network marketing relationships. There's also many relationships that I don't call these people my friends. I call these people my Beachbody peers because when I was doing other things, like when I was doing hormone health stuff, this is another thing with Beachbody. Shalene Johnson pointed this out where Beachbody was never revolutionary. They were always trying to reinvent a dupe or create a duplicate. So Shalene talked about how even back in the day when she came to Beachbody as Turbo Kick, allegedly, it was like, oh, we get kind of a knockoff of Tybo. And then even with this hormone health stuff, like what boggles my mind even up until today is like, I was talking about hormone health stuff how long ago? 2019, 2020, 2021. And now at the end of 2024, beginning of 2025, now there's going to be a hormone health group done by Autumn, who's like, okay, what's her qualifications? How long has she been doing this? And then she's also creating a program with the control track, which I really do love that control track. I actually am so glad we have that in our home gym because then we can use our bands. But she's going to be teaching Pilates style reformer classes, why would they have Autumn do that when Andrea Rogers has been a Pilates instructor and been on a Pilates reformer for probably over a decade, but now all of a sudden Autumn's going to be the pro at that? Like, that just makes no sense to me. When I saw that Belle Vital or whatever was going to be done by Autumn and not by Andrea Rogers, I literally eye rolled and I was like, absolutely not. Autumn is not the Pilates girl, and she's doing this because she wants to stay relevant. She's doing, gosh, now I'm getting spicy, but why not have Andrea Rogers do it? That is so silly to me. And in my opinion, Andrea Rogers would have been a much better fit for developing a program that mimicked a Pilates reformer than Autumn. Like, I know, quote unquote, Autumn brought on the control track with 9-week Control Freak, but come on, what? And I know a lot about hormone health, so I'm not going to sit, and I had no intentions. I rolled at all of the ladies who were like, I've been doing this hormone program for 2 weeks, and oh my gosh, I feel so great. I feel so different. This is healing my hormones. When I know for a fact it does not take 2 weeks to heal your hormones. It does not take 2 months to heal your hormones. If you need real hormone healing, it's going to take a long time, and lifestyle changes, it does not happen in a short time period. And I was getting furious towards the end when we were being taught and told and kind of brought in the loop of what this hormone program was going to be about. Oh my gosh, you guys, I was so mad. And also I was so mad because many of my Beachbody peers had no interest in hearing how I was talking about hormones and thought I was weird and thought what I was doing was crazy and thought what I was doing was like gimmicky and blah, 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 when I was teaching cycle syncing stuff and how to, adjust your workout intensity based on where you're at in your cycle. Guess what all of them started to do, especially before we knew, because remember, found out September 30th. Oh my gosh, you guys, in July, August, September, they were all talking about hormone stuff. And I was just like, come on, guys, really? The group think is that deep that you couldn't even have been open-minded to anyone. Not saying like everybody needed to listen to me, but there were other people too who were showing and sharing different things. But now all of a sudden, since Beachbody's going to do it, then it's going to be revolutionary and so different and blah, 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 blah. And now like it just was so maddening at the end. And so actually I'm glad that this has happened because a lot, guess what, are not even interested in Belle Vital or having the hormone conversation or selling the package that comes along with Belle Vital with supplements that are supportive for your hormones and your gut health and all this, that, and the other thing. I'm just like, were you kidding me? Like, were you kidding me? In all honesty, towards the end, I was getting kind of salty. I was getting kind of salty and eye rolling and just like, oh, really? I've been talking about this for years. I've been living in this way for years. And now, because you have interest in it, and then not only now are you interested in it, but you're also going to pinpoint yourself as the professional on it and sell it to other people like it's some miracle that you can fix your hormones in, I don't even know what the promise is, if the program is like 4 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever, but it cannot be done in that time frame. Can you see improvements? Yes, but that was completely different because it's like when I saw some of those 2 weeks, like, oh my God, I feel so much better. I've been 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, that's because you were in probably luteal phase and now you're in follicular. And we all know that you could do nothing and feel that type of positive amplification in your mood, feeling, and emotion, because luteal phase, we know what our hormones are doing. Follicular phase, when you know what your hormones are doing, you now understand, oh, this is why I'm feeling this way. And sometimes, I mean, obviously we don't want those big crashes, This isn't going to go into a hormone health podcast topic, but we don't want those big crashes. But when you understand the fluctuations, you're not going to be like, why am I feeling this way? You go and you have a better understanding of your body. At the time of Thanksgiving, I was feeling blah. I was feeling moody. I was feeling all kinds of ways. And I just was like, oh, my hormones are not helping me. I am in late luteal phase during this time. Like, just go with the flow, go with the flow, go with the flow. Don't let little things bug me. Don't like bite your tongue, bite your tongue, bite your tongue. But it's a better understanding. And that's what learning to understand your cycle brings, is a better understanding of your biology. And so, I mean, to me, gosh, Beachbody, huge gift in my life. Huge gift in my life. I am so grateful for the last 14 years. I am so grateful for what it was able to help me, because obviously we don't need to income disclaimer any of this anymore because the opportunity isn't around, but insert income disclaimer. It was because of Beachbody I was able to buy our first home, to pay for our wedding. We did not ask our family to pay for anything in our weddings. We covered everything. There was a couple things that we were told, we want to gift this to you guys, and we accepted that, but we covered everything. I remember even somebody was like, hey, tell your dad thanks for the keg. And I was like, he didn't pay for that. It really developed a hyper independence in me. And I'm grateful for that. I was able to pay off my student loans. Like, that was crazy cool to me. Pay cash for my degree in business management, marketing, and sales. Pay for my husband's master's degree, which he graduated with in 2016, right before I went on bed rest with our first son. Pay off my car, buy the lot where our house is built, build this house, because yes, at the time we were signing the papers for this house, my husband had switched jobs, so they were not taking into account his income. They were taking into account my income and my business. And so, yes, we financed this house based off of that business income that was generated. And I was able to stay home with my babies. Because of this, I had an income coming in through those years because I worked my butt off leading up to having kids. And I'm forever grateful, not just for the financial provisions, but for the people. My best friends I met through social media or network marketing or the Beachbody opportunity. And it is just absolutely crazy. A lot of the skills that I use now in my online business and podcast production and everything that I do on that, I have learned a lot of lessons, positive. The good ones I'm going to take with me, the other ones I'm going to leave behind me and bring them along into whatever this next chapter of life will be. And I feel open to anything and everything. At this time, I am not seeking out another network marketing opportunity. Me and my family, we are going to be okay. Like I said, in 2021, my husband and I had a private conversation that we were not going to rely on this to be our basket anymore. It was going to be an egg in our basket, and now it is no longer an egg in our basket. And I am open to anything. I'm really open to anything right now. Podcast production is organically doing well. It's growing and it's at a good pace, and I enjoy it. I love doing the Living in Sync podcast. This is kind of an outlet for me now. And also, I am open to anything. I'm even open to going back to a job. I'm going to say it. I'm open to any type of career change. And I really think that I am going to miss, there's a part of it I'm going to miss in the sense of relationships and honestly sales. And I know some people are like, oh, ick sales. But I really, really loved, like back in the day, getting to know someone and doing a needs analysis and like looking at what and listening to what it is they were saying and what they were wanting and what they struggled with in the past and matching up what I thought would be a really great fit for them. And so I could see myself going into something in sales I'm really good with organizational and task management and anything. But also podcast production is going really well. Even at the time of recording this, I had a morning of editing and getting episodes out and communicating with my clients, and that filled my cup, and I loved it. So 2025 might just be another year of podcast production and serving my clients. It might be a year where there's a twist and turn and possibility and change and transition, but I'm open to anything. And it's quite crazy that this chapter has closed. And I do appreciate the people where when this news came out, I got so many wonderful text messages from people being like, I'm so proud of you for building something else. I am so glad that this is not going to be devastating for your family, because I know many of my friends and peers, it was absolutely devastating news. And some of them may have a painted face on of like everything will be okay, because I really do believe like these people built network marketing business. They have talent, they have skill, they have grit, they have hustle, and they could do anything. I know that so many of them are going to be okay. I know that everybody is going to be okay. And I hope that a couple lessons that come from this is, not idolizing anything of this world. And whether it's a job, a career, a opportunity, a thing, a this or that, like it all can go away. That's actually one thing about life that is true, is things are going to change. Life changes, lives. And it was very interesting to me to see how some people went very reactive and some people sat with it and some people really just had really high emotional EQ, while others were just frantic. And not that the people who cried and were really upset and really devastated don't have high emotional EQ. Like that's the part of emotional intelligence is processing it and feeling your feelings and recognizing them and recognizing why it's hitting your heart so much. But it's important to learn a lesson. And I really think for myself, I learned this lesson before this big news came out, but I'm glad I learned it before the news came out. My lesson was do not attach your identity to outside things, especially outside things that you do not have control over. Because there was short parts of the years of me doing this where I definitely had idolization. I had I'm not going to say I'm not one of the ones that sent out hey girl messages or went on the girl boss train, because I did, right? I totally did. And also my foundation was built that we were in the mission of helping people live a healthy and fulfilling life. Our main mission was to help people enjoy working out and to nourish their body and to take lifestyle changes seriously and support them in that. And so even in the wave of the girl boss, my brain wasn't about the glitz and the glam. It was about still service. It was, and gosh, I was not perfect as an upline or a mentor, but I can say that as a young 20-something-year-old, I was doing a pretty dang good job. Like, I'm really proud of myself for so many things that I figured out. I'm obviously so grateful for the personal development and personal growth that it sent me on a path to really learning and self-education type of thing. So there's so many good things that I am so grateful for. And I don't want this episode to come off like it was all bad, or that I am spiteful, or I'm so glad that this is over because I was right and they were wrong type of thing when the ship started sinking. Like, I knew it. It's not that. It's truly not that. This is me saying, this chapter, these 14 years was really special to me in the setup for my family and me as an individual and me as a woman. You know, I was able in my 20s to do a lot of things on my own because of this. Truly, I didn't have any other income. I believe I graduated from college and I did not even have to make a resume because I was my own boss. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. I have so much belief in myself that I can do anything I set my mind to. And I'm very proud of myself. And I'm also very excited to live life differently the next decade. You know, like I definitely saw my Beachbody business really kicked off when I was like 23 years old. That's when I saw exponential growth. So from 23 to 35, like, woo, I am so grateful. And I'm also so grateful to know that 35 and beyond is going to look so different. Every year I do the Dream Planner Summit, which comes with my Horatio Printing Dream Planner that I use. It's sitting out on my desk. I've used it for 4 or 5 years now. I really need to know the exact number so I can tell you guys. But in each quarter, there's this page, and on this page is where you write your passions, obligations. Let me open it up because I always talk about this, but then I can never really remember. Okay, here we go. So it's called like the something cloud, and it's passions, focuses, obligations, distractions. Literally every quarter, I wrote down that I have an obligation to Beachbody because I did. I still did the things that I needed to do in order to remain active in my various things. But it's no longer an obligation for me. It's no longer an obligation for me. The chapter is closed. And I have so much peace and gratitude. And I pray for my friends and my peers that feel wonky about this, that they feel peace knowing they're smart and they're so capable. And if they've done it once, they can do it again with wisdom to do it better. You know, in business one time, I think it was listening to a call or a podcast or something where they're like, your first million is the hardest. Your first million is the hardest. And it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. You're going to be okay. I've even had some conversations with some of my friends that were completely panicked. October 1st, complete panic, complete meltdowns, and they're doing okay. They've checked in with me. I've checked in with them. They've got a plan. They've got a path. They've got some peace, and they're going to be okay. And I know a year from now, life is going to be a lot different for a lot of people. But I know that it's okay to have a chapter closed. The book is not done. The best days are ahead. That's actually one of the reasons why I love the Dream Planner so much, is because when I first got my Dream Planner, I got the one that had the cover that says, the best is yet to come. Because at that time, I believe it was when we were going into 2020. Katie and Lexi, please correct me on that. So we were planning for 2020, which I don't think we could have known what was coming in 2020. We were either planning for 2020 or we were planning for 2021. I can't remember. I think it might have been, I don't know. I think it might have been 2020. Anyways, but now my brain has totally zipped that thought. It's going to come back to me. But we were sitting there and we were planning things out. And the planner on the front said, the best is yet to come. And prior to that, I believed the best was behind me. I was idolizing those good old days before I had kids, and when this and that was happening and the paychecks were this and the team building was like that, and I had the flexibility to travel to all the places and see all of the things. And I really thought the best was behind me. I really thought that. And when I saw and was debating on the Horatio planner, and I saw that the cover said the best is yet to come, I knew that I needed to get that planner to help me anchor in to believing that the best days are ahead. And these last 4 years, while they have had trials and challenges, they have gotten better and better and better and better and better. And so now my heart believes the best is ahead. The best is not behind. And wow, the past was so good. There's so many good things that I can remember and think about and be so grateful for. But I know the best is ahead. And whether like you're just listening to this just out of curiosity or nosiness, because like, girl, same. It's okay. It's totally okay. And I got some messages and various things that were asking hard questions that I had to process in my heart. But I truly do know everybody's going to be okay. And the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. So thank you so much for listening to this long episode today. I appreciate you. If you have any questions or comments, please send me a DM on Instagram, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you loved what you heard or you want to share your favorite episode topics, please leave a rating and review. This helps the podcast growth and gives people an idea of what the podcast is all about. Something new and exciting that I wanted to share with you before we go is that we now have a Patreon page. This has replaced the Feminine Edge collective community in a cohesive place that is easier for me to manage and cheaper for you. If you are interested in our monthly classes, exclusive day in the life vlogs, Bible studies, community Q&A, and more, go to patreon.com/livingInSync and join for just $5 a month. Check out the show notes for any links or details of things referenced in today's episode, and I look forward to chatting with you in the next one.